Good evening. Welcome to Midweek Connection. And I am on the back porch in spite of the fact that it's chilly even here in Florida. So I decided to bundle up a little bit. Those of you who are further up north, you're experiencing way more winter than we are. Even our loved ones and friends in middle Georgia have experienced quite a bit of snow. So, we send our love out to you, and hopefully something that will be shared this evening will warm you up. This has been an amazing week. It's also been a very interesting week. We're in a very interesting time. Every person, every individual is in their own way, I think, trying to navigate this time. Some are happy and celebrating. Some are on the other side, sad and grieving and kind of wigged out by how some are happy and celebrating. It's interesting to see that dichotomy, to see the contrast that's currently taking place in the world. And for me, I'm finding it beautiful that it actually is giving me the ability to expand and to think more deeply, go within so that I don't have to go without. And I am finding that it's expanding my love. It's asking me, even if it was a dark night of the soul in this part of the world, what is it you're calling to be? And my calling is to be light and to be love and to be kindness and to be compassion and to lift my voice for those things. And I'll continue to do that. And I want to say to you that if we're not careful, we get lost in the stories that we tell. The way we're talking about what's happening is as important many times as what's actually happening. Be careful about the story that you're telling. Tonight, I would like to get into the Tao Te Ching again, Tao 34. And it says this: the great way is like a vast open road that welcomes everyone, no matter which direction they come from. It's the source of life for all beings, yet it never tries to own or control them. It fulfills its purpose quietly, without seeking recognition or glory. Just as the sky embraces all creatures without trying to overpower them, the Great Way supports everything in existence. Everything returns to it, like a traveler coming home, but it doesn't demand respect or authority. This is why it can truly be called great. In this way, the wise person, and I would say someone who's a student of the Tao. In this way, the wise person mirrors this approach. By not striving for greatness or accolades, they naturally embody it. The one is in tune with the way, the one who is in tune with the way understands that true strength lies in humility and the ability to support others without seeking power or the spotlight. Constant refrain, the constant pattern and message of the Tao Te Ching consistently is non-interference and being in alignment with the Tao no matter what is transpiring in our world. Being in a consistent path or discipline of non-interference, kindness, compassion, allowing things to just be as they are instead of trying to fight with or overcome the rest of the world. Allow yourself to be in a flow. What you fight, you ignite, and what you resist will persist. Everything that's happening in the world is really just a mirror for us to see. If you see something that you despise in someone else, it's because somewhere in you that very energy resides and could possibly at some point take over if you're not careful. This is why there's a warning in psychology for people who are in a relationship with a narcissist to be very, very careful that the abuse doesn't get absorbed basically through the skin of their mental self and that they don't become diseased with the same thing. Because narcissism is born out of trauma that's not healed. Yeshua ben Joseph, Jesus, said, "Continue in my word, my logic, my way of doing and being, and you will have, or you will know," which is to have an intimate connection with, "the truth. And the truth will make you free." To thrive in 2025, we need to learn how to embrace true greatness by reimagining what greatness actually means. A lot of us think that greatness is about our strength, about our money, about our fame, about our position in the world. But the truth is that I shared about this last Sunday. Once you identify who you truly are, and you diversify, and you clarify, you can then start to redefine success and greatness. In fact, I was talking with someone today about the Tao verse that says success is as bad as failure. And that seems very strange to us, but it's because I believe the Tao is trying to constantly remind us about the constructs that we've created, the measurements about success. The same thing is true with this idea of greatness and what it really is defined as. We're being encouraged by Lao Tzu, by Jesus, to rethink our understanding of what it means to be great. Often we equate our greatness and our strength with wealth, with fame, physical strength, the power to control others. We celebrate people in positions of authority, like presidents. Some are worshiped, as we're seeing right now. We tend to venerate and even worship people in authority, presidents, military leaders, heads of states, heads of spiritual communities, those who command attention and influence. Greatness is most often associated with individuals who have a profound impact on the world. And maybe it's an impact locally or globally for the better. This last Monday, I didn't celebrate an inauguration in Washington, D.C., because inaugurate means to bring to the forefront and celebrate a new authority. What I see in the entire political sphere is pseudo power. It's not real. It's not real power. The real power is when you inaugurate your own self to your true position as a divine being. But we tend to acknowledge as powerful and great people who have an impact on the world, again, whether it's globally or locally, for the better. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was the one that I was celebrating on Monday because, in my opinion, we have reached an inflection point where we're seeing such a massive permission to act hateful, to act evil, to act in a prejudice and marginalizational way. We're seeing that there's an unraveling of the system, and it's beautiful, it's perfect. We may not like the sledgehammer that's being used, but it's being used. And we're being asked to rethink what greatness is. Greatness is not how many people know you and venerate you. In this sense, greatness is seen as a badge worn by those who stand out. I've taken the word great and I've broken it down into more a kind of an acrostic. And that's the G, the R, the E, and the T, the E, the A, and the T. And I've said, to me, that what greatness, true greatness, represents is God's revealed excellence and truth. God's revealed excellence and truth in your life. Verse 34 of the Tao Te Ching is leading us toward more questioning about how we define and asking us to redefine. So verse 34 of the Tao Te Ching is giving us that invitation. Lao Tzu represents or presents a different perspective. He describes true greatness as nothing more than the pure presence itself coming forward in your life. For the source presence, which is the force that sustains every living being without seeking to dominate or to demand or have recognition, that's true greatness. True greatness is that non-demanding, non-recognition needing presence to come forward in your life. The Tao provides for all, is what Lao Tzu says. In other words, the source, God, provides for all, yet remains indifferent to fame or getting credit or recognition. It gives, as I said this last Sunday, good for goodness sake, not for any other reason. The Tao is kind to the kind and kind to the unkind because kindness is its nature. Goodness is its nature. Greatness is its nature. The very foundation of everything that exists, all of creation comes out of it, and yet it doesn't ask for anything in return. And we've talked about this quote from Hafiz multiple times. Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. With a love like that, you can light up the whole sky. It's always giving. The reason the universe is eternal is because it's always giving. It's the generosity, it's the beneficence that makes the universe so eternal. Because you can't outgive. When it comes to love, when it comes to kindness, when it comes to compassion, when it comes to understanding, when it comes to humility, you can't run out of that. Continue to give it. You see, quiet humility is what defines genuine greatness. Quiet humility is what defines genuine greatness. When we shift our perspective on greatness, we start to view the world in a new way. We start to see things new. And perception is the ultimate reality, whether it's the ultimate truth or not. No longer are you going to measure yourself by material possessions or by the achievements that we have or the achievements of others. In doing so, we drop off the weights of competition. We get rid of the chains of comparison. Instead, we learn to recognize the ever unfolding pure presence in everyone and in everything. All of our encounters, we see the pure presence in everyone and everything we encounter. Maybe for the first time, we start seeing the greatness in others and in ourselves, not as a competition, but as a shared inheritance, as a shared heritage and a shared quality that connects us all. When we have this shift in the way we see greatness, we'll learn to appreciate the vastness and even the emptiness of the sky, which asks for nothing in return, and recognize that the same essence flows through every individual, including those that we have previously dismissed, thrown out, we've seen as difficult, crazy, wicked, or even unreasonable. Now, before we go tonight, I want to share some practical ways to incorporate the practice of shifting our definitions of greatness. Some practices for our daily life. Number one, let go of control once and for all. Stop trying to dictate how others should live their lives. In fact, stop judging how other people live their lives, and that includes the Donald Trumps and the Joe Bidens of the world. That includes the Christians and non-Christians of the world, the Buddhists and non-Buddhists of the world, the atheists and the believers of the world. Remember that everyone is capable of making their own choices. As the poet Khalil Gibran wisely said, even about your children, because I want to speak to the parents for a moment. Khalil Gibran brought forth some wonderful wisdom when he talked about your children making choices and the right that they have to live. He said, your children are not your children. They are the sons and the daughters of life's longing for itself. They didn't come from you, even though they came through you. So when I'm talking about non-interference and letting other people make their own choices, I'm even talking about the people who are closest to you, that you say you love the most and you trust the most. Giving up the need to control to try to make our children become successful. Them being successful is them following through with the dharma that they've been given. And our calling as parents is to simply support that process. Be there to help insulate to the best that we can and keep them as safe as possible along that journey. And the same is true for husbands and wives and partners, that you would give that same love and same understanding to those that you say you love the most. This is true for all of our relationships. Instead of trying to dominate or control, focus more on listening and trying to understand. Pay attention to your judgmental thoughts and then reflect on where they come from. So when you have the judgmental thoughts toward your children, toward the people that you love and the people that you don't love, the people that you don't like, that is. Hopefully we're starting to learn to love even people that we don't like to be around. But reflect on where the thoughts of judgment are coming from. Ask yourself, in what part of me is this Is this truth that I'm thinking, or is this my own prejudice? Is this my own concepts that are conning me out of the opportunity to see the full understanding of this individual? By fostering, cultivating, nurturing a mindset of acceptance rather than ownership, we begin to witness the beautiful unfolding of the pure presence, or the Tao, in both ourselves and in others. This frees you from frustration when people don't meet your expectations. You want to live a more free and peaceful life. Stop having expectations about what other people should do. Concentrate on your internal self only. Here I am left with just me. And am I going to fully unfold into my complete and total fulfilled, beautiful self? This is the work that we have to do. We don't have Washington, D.C. to work on. We don't have the church down the street or the mosque across the road to work on, or even our wives or our children. It's just me. It's just me. The kingdom of God is within me. For me to work on unfolding into my true self. And even in that process, giving yourself a break and giving yourself non-judgmental love and compassion as you go through that process. Number 2, redefine greatness, period. Create a personal definition of greatness that moves beyond all of the superficial measures like appearance or the traditional idea of success. Maybe look for those who give generously and yet speak modestly, and they nurture others without seeking recognition. These are the true greats in this world. Jesus Christ, Gandhi, King, Muhammad, Lao Tzu, the Buddha. Try to emulate their behaviors and observe how the pure presence, the Tao, manifests in their actions. And it's always providing. It's never boasting. And it's free from the desire to possess or to control. Acknowledge these individuals in your life, the ones who you see quietly strive to be this way. And then you quietly strive to mirror their greatness. Don't try to be identical with them. Simply take inspiration from them. Number 3 and final, practice mindfulness in your interactions. And what I mean is dedicate a day, 2 days, to recognizing people who embody the qualities of this way of being, that they're showing up and doing their best to give without needing recognition. Silently appreciate that greatness as an expression of the divine. Notice how your interactions change when you let go of preconceived judgments based on age, gender, status, appearance, or even someone's beliefs. Focus on the essence of each person rather than any of these external differences. I think what you'll find when you do that, when you focus on the essence of an individual rather than the external differences, you'll likely find in yourself a really deeper connection and a deeper gratitude and appreciation for the greatness that exists within us all. I believe as we embrace and embody these practices, we're actually really, for real, cultivating a powerful, more clear, rich understanding. The richness, the texture, understanding of greatness. It's one that celebrates the interconnection and the interconnectedness of all of life. It's one that recognizes the beauty of pure presence in ourselves and in others and in all of nature. We identify, we diversify, and we clarify our lives. When we redefine what greatness means and what success means, and we let go of the judgments, the petty judgments, and even the strong-held judgments that we've had, we let go of them all, and we let love literally begin to emanate and manifest from the very pores of our being. I'm not speaking to you as somebody who has perfected this. Please understand that. When I'm inviting us to identify our true selves and to diversify our thinking and our way of being in the world and to clarify the truth of the life we want to live, I'm talking to you as somebody who is working with you. I am on the road with you. John is not way up in the distance or up on some mountain somewhere waving and saying, hey, if you act like this, you can be like me. I'm saying to you, these are the attributes and the qualities that I have chosen to dedicate my life's journey to. I've chosen to commit myself, even at the times when it is hard. In fact, maybe commit myself even more in those times. Right now, I feel like I'm going deep within. As the world around looks like to some it's on fire and to others it's on fire in a good way, as I see the systems of our world falling apart right before our eyes, I realize that things are not necessarily as much falling apart as they are falling into place. I don't understand why it is happening the way it's happening, but I am committed. I am committed to identifying my true self, diversifying in the way I think, and clarifying this journey for my life. I'm doing this not just to thrive in 2025, but also to have a revival of thrival for the rest of my journey on this planet. I'm choosing to not just say, I am the light of the world. I'm choosing to be the light of the world. I'm choosing to be love, joy, and peace. And this is just another part of that process, redefining greatness, redefining success, and seeing the truth of what both really mean. Are you able to just get quiet and become generous and share who you are with the world without the need of recognition? Are you able to begin to live more than ever before from a place of compassion and kindness without having everyone agree with you on everything? Are you able to let go of the ego that is attempting to control every aspect of your life so that you can really, once and for all, stop being caught in the story that you're telling about what's happening? 95% of what happens in the world or is happening in my life is what I believe and I say about it. 5% is what's actually happening. And I'm choosing a different story. I spoke with another friend today who said, I'm choosing a different way of being. This is a choice that we can all make. And now, as much as ever, I believe there needs to be a group of people who are going to make conscious contact with this all the time. Go deep within so that you don't have to go without. Redefine greatness. Identify. Diversify. Clarify. Until it all becomes high definition. All right, my friends, thank you so much for letting me be with you this evening. I hope that something that was shared this evening stimulates you to continue on your spiritual path. Know that I only share with you these things because I absolutely feel compelled to. I feel called more than ever before to share this message of love, compassion, true connection with our divine selves. And thank you for being here. If you feel like this would be a blessing to someone else, consider sharing it with someone else. Click like, if you will. Click the heart buttons. Maybe comment. That helps with the algorithms. Even if you just say something like, hey, saying hello from wherever you may be tuning in. And whether you're tuning in live or tuning in later, either way, when you put a comment or a like or a heart on there, it helps with the algorithms of this ministry. Speaking of helping with the algorithms of this ministry, on the way out, the ways to give will be on the screen. If you are a member of First Unity Spiritual Campus, please go to firstunity.org/give, and that's a safe and secure way to give. Or just go to firstunity.org and you will see the donate button there. So continue to be a sustaining partner and give today. Give this year like maybe you never have before, knowing that when you do that, you activate the law of circulation in your life. Given it shall be given unto you, good measure. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Shall it come back to you. So continue to give. Those who are a part of this One Love movement and you want to give here, the ways to do that are on the screen as we start to leave out. Also, I put up a post a little while back letting folks know that I am doing personal one-on-one coaching now. And I'm going to tell you something. There is a synergy. There is an interesting energy that takes place when I get into the room with someone else, whether it's a virtual room or actually in-person room, and we start to dig deep into the habits and the practices of the life that you're living. It's absolutely confidential. It's chock full of wonderful wisdom that I've gained in over 30 years of ministry, over 15 years in mental health. And I would like to walk along with you for your highest good. I can help you reach that mark. I know that because I've experienced that with many other people. And the ways to sign up is to drop me an instant message or go to that link that is on my personal Facebook page and you can check us out. Also, I'll put our website in the comments below so that you can have that as well. I love you. I hear the music getting started, so I'm going to get up out of here now. Go and make it a great evening and a great rest of the week because you can. Peace.